Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Woman shot dead, husband's son escaped death in Westmoreland. A businesswoman was shot dead while her husband and son narrowly escaped death when they were attacked by gunmen at Cooleytown District in Paradise, Westmoreland on Saturday. The deceased has been identified as 27-year-old Chantal Codner-Whittingham, otherwise called Poochie, from Brigham District, Little London in the parish. It was reported that around 3:30 p.m., Codner-Whittingham, her husband and son, had driven into the community and park when they were approached by 4 men armed with guns. Police said the men opened gunfire at all 3 occupants of the vehicle. The husband and wife went in different directions, and the gunmen chased and fired shots at them and then left the area on foot. Codner-Whittingham was found suffering from gunshot wounds to her head. The other occupants escaped unhurt. She was transported to hospital where she was pronounced dead on arrival. Elderly woman stabbed to death in Hanover home. An 8-year-old woman was found stabbed to death at her home in Top Kendall, Hanover, Saturday night. Reporters understand that the woman, a returning resident, was found with several stab wounds by relatives. The deceased has been identified as Patsy Allen, a retired nurse. Information reaching reporters is that the relatives discovered the body of the now deceased lying in the passage of her house with what appeared to be stab wounds. The police were summoned, and Allen was taken to hospital where she was confirmed dead. The body was later moved to the morgue pending a post-mortem examination. No suspect has been identified in connection with the killing, neither has a motive been established. Caregiver of returning resident killed in Hanover found dead at home. A case involving Saturday's death of 80-year-old returning resident seemed to have taken following the killing of a 73-year-old woman said to be her caregiver. The caregiver, Tika Anderson Nesbitt from Grange District in Grange Island, Hanover, was found dead at her home by relatives hours after Patsy Allen, a retired nurse, was found dead at her home in Top Kendall in the said parish. Anderson Nesbitt's 93-year-old husband, with whom she lived, has gone missing. Police said as a routine, Anderson Nesbitt would offer care to the retired nurse and return home about 10:30 a.m. the next day. Between 10:30 a.m. and 8 p.m. on Saturday, the police said Anderson Nesbitt's relative became concerned after they tried unsuccessfully to call her. As a result, they went to her house and found her body lying face down in her room in a pool of blood. Her husband was not seen, and efforts to locate him proved futile. The body was processed and 2 small wounds were observed over her right eye and blood coming from the mouth. It was later moved to the morgue pending a post-mortem examination. Police are trying to determine if there is a link between the 2 incidents. Member of Parliament for East Central St. Catherine calls for a permanent police post in Gregory Park. A permanent police post is needed in Gregory Park, St. Catherine. That view was expressed by Member of Parliament for East Central St. Catherine, Alonzo Terrelong, following August 12 alleged arson attack on a premises. 1 man was shot dead, an elderly woman hospitalized with minor burns, and over 40 persons were left homeless. Mr. Terrelong said while the elderly woman received burns, her life was spared. The MP noted that the community has been tense for some time, as there has been signs of imminent danger. He said the attackers waited until they were at a lapse in the security patrol to firebomb the house. He noted that criminals will not be allowed to terrorize the community.
Armed terrorists invaded a home in Gregory. It's not a home, it's a large communal residence, with several homes in there. And they burnt down 11 houses. It is an unnecessary, it's a senseless act of terrorism. It's a waste of property. It's destruction of lives and livelihood and untold trauma and mental anguish for our children, our residents, our entire community. These hoodlums literally pushed down, broke her windows, kicked down the door, threw the gasoline and set the fire bombs and set her house ablaze while she was sleeping. We could have woken up to report that Miss Sweeney lost her life. And this is pointless. This all could have been avoided. The intelligence was there that said that this attack in Walker's Avenue was imminent. The police were aware of it. The police had boots on the ground, but these thugs, they're so strategic. Up to 2:30 this morning, I was on the phone monitoring the situation because the information was that the community is tense. The soldiers and the police took a break at 3 o'clock. And by 3:40, gunshots started firing, and by after 4, the entire residence, 11 homes set ablaze. They literally waited, but what we need to ensure peace in the Gregory Park space. We don't need police patrols. We need a permanent police post inside of Gregory Park space. I have been speaking to the police officers. I will continue to advocate for this at the highest level because it is what is needed. You have folks from a community called Gulf, and they continue with this sort of mayhem. They went over and burned down homes in Mexico last week. This week now they're burning out residents inside Walker's Avenue. It can't continue. We cannot allow our community to be run by terrorists. That's what they are, and it has to stop. And we will not give in. We will not lose hope because one day the police will catch these terrorists. They cannot be allowed to terrorize the Gregory Park space any longer. Enough is enough.
10-year-old opened Jasmine Corner at Maypen Hospital. Jasmine Corner, an inviting space for young patients at the Maypen Hospital to read and relax, was officially opened on Friday. The area, located in the pediatric ward, was outfitted by 10-year-old Canadian-Jamaican actress-singer Jasmine Headley at a cost of Canadian $6,000. It is equipped with a computer, reading books and toys. Each child on the ward was presented with a gift package. The youngster, who heads the Jasmine Foundation, said she began her philanthropic journey 3 years ago during COVID-19 after receiving several birthday and other gifts that she neither used or needed and decided to give them away. Her parents also influenced her decision to donate. My parents told me their stories because they grew up in Jamaica, and they said they did not have a lot of things growing up. So I figured that even if they are no longer little kids, I can help the people who are now little kids instead of taking. I decided to give, Jasmine said, noting that giving back makes her feel warm and fuzzy inside. Over the years, she has raised funds to provide wheelchairs, clothing, and other items to needy children in Jamaica and Canada. She receives help from her parents to undertake these efforts. Jasmine's mother said that the family has a culture of giving, and she is proud to see that her daughter is inspired to do the charitable work at such an early age. Ever since I moved to Canada, I was always shipping things back to Jamaica, so Jasmine is just taking over from what I was doing. It makes me feel good. I am hoping that other children will admire her and want to do what she's doing, she said. Jasmine is part of the cast of a TV show for children in Canada and will appear in a movie which is expected to be out this month. She has collaborated a song with Bounty Killer and has also donated to his foundation. Jasmine said that her goal is to use the proceeds from her earnings to set up a Jasmine Corner in every public hospital in Jamaica. She also has her eyes set on the legal profession. I want to be a judge in the family court when I grow up. My dad wanted to be a judge, but he ended up going into basketball. My aunt also wanted to be a judge, but didn't, she said. Jasmine loves coming to Jamaica and enjoying the culture. Sometimes we go to where my mother lived in St. Elizabeth when she was a child. The house is still there and I have friends there, and we like to do car wheels and play tags, she said. Her favorite Jamaican dishes include fried plantain, jerk and curry chicken, and oxtail. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell.